What's up, y'all? Nick here, back again with another commentary video, and today I'd like to be talking about Joe Rogan. I think everyone knows who Joe Rogan is, popular podcaster of the Joe Rogan Experience. He has influenced a shit ton of people throughout his career to do what they do now, as well as popularized a lot of other people by having them on his podcast. And people are trying to cancel him right now. Artists like Neil Young have grouped together to practically say that if Joe Rogan doesn't get kicked off of Spotify, that they will not be posting any more music, and they don't feel like it's right to be posting their shit onto Spotify just because Joe Rogan's on the platform. To me, that's bullshit. I mean, there's a lot of people on the YouTube platform that I personally don't like, but you don't see me trying to make exposed videos on them or saying that, oh, I can't use YouTube because of this person. That's ridiculous to say. And guess what? They're trying to cancel him by using old clips from years ago as a way to justify his removal from the site. Which is honestly kind of crazy because it's not like Joe Rogan is like a radical or anything. He's just an ordinary guy with pretty normal politics. He does let people like Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro on his show, but if anything, it's really just to get to know them more. I mean, you're a podcaster who brings thousands of guests onto your show. At some point, you will have to put people like that on your show just because, I mean, that's the thing to do. And these people are trying to pretty much sum up his whole life with just like a few 5-second clips, which are heavily taken out of context. And after all this controversy, he did drop an apology video, and I'll just play some of the clips from it.
My apologies and much love. My sincere, deepest apologies. And I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing.
And right after he records this video and posts it onto his Instagram, Spotify then deletes 70 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience off their platform. And what's so funny to me is CNN dropped an article saying that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson initially supported Joe Rogan, but has quote unquote became educated since learning Rogan's use of the racial slur, which honestly is kind of insane to me, especially when it reaches someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, someone who is so high profiled, not just in the United States, but around the whole world. So clearly, this isn't just affecting Joe Rogan himself, it's also affecting many other people who has been on his show, as well as even people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, where people find old tweets of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson replying to Joe Rogan in a previous Twitter post saying, "Great stuff here, brother. Perfectly articulated. Look forward to coming on one day and breaking out the tequila with you." And then author Don Winslow tweeted at Johnson saying, "You're a hero to many people, and using your platform to defend Joe Rogan, a guy that used and laughed about using the N-word dozens of times, is a terrible use of your power." Winslow wrote, "Have you actually listened to this man's many racist statements about black people?" And apparently it got enough traction to where The Rock even had to respond to it saying, "Thank you so much for this. I hear you as well as everyone here 100%. I was not aware of his N-word use prior to my comments, but now I've become educated to his complete narrative learning moment for me." So in my opinion, I honestly believe that Spotify will do whatever it can to either remove Joe Rogan from the platform solely because, well, people are getting off the platform just because he's on it. So just to save a bit of revenue, Spotify will probably end up banning him from the platform, even though it's hard to see the number one podcast in the world actually get banned from the biggest streaming platform in the world. But it's a multi-million dollar business. It'll do whatever it can to stay alive and keep their users active and happy. So dropping Joe Rogan wouldn't be a surprise to me. On the other hand, this is just a prime example on why cancel culture is honestly the worst thing to happen in the last, I don't know, 8 years. It's honestly kind of crazy to me to think that you can dig up out of context shit, make a compilation of it, post it onto Twitter, and you can get someone's whole life ruined. And we can even see that multiple times before cancel culture has actually been wrong. The big example I have is the Pro Jared incident, when people thought Pro Jared was cheating on his ex and all this shit, but in reality, it was the complete opposite. So, no one knows exactly what's going to happen here, but one thing I do know, the Joe Rogan podcast is making a lot of money off of this, probably. A lot of people are probably going to go find the podcast and listen to it. And there has been multiple businesses like Rumble who offered him $100 million just to drop his podcast on their platform. So if anything, if he does get removed from Spotify, he has a big $100 million contract waiting for him. So that'll be the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Drop a like, leave a comment on what's y'all thoughts on the situation, and peace.